Testing. Testing. Hey, aloha and welcome. Last show of the season. I'm going to wrap up the Super Bowl. And I'm going to go over how my predictions went. My preseason predictions for the 2025 season. Yeah, Super Bowl. Congrats. Seattle. Pretty much best team all year. Everybody said that Rams Seahawks game was a Super Bowl. Turned out though, bro, I actually had New England winning the game, at least covering. I'm going to get into it, but I put this fully 100% on coaching. Terrible. We'll get into it, but congratulations to the Seahawks. Sam Darnold. How's Minnesota feeling? Hit the beats, boys. Then have the song. When I have a song, maybe next year I'll figure it out. I'm still only 155. Got to figure out a way to get more subscribers. Anyway, Super Bowl 60. I was dead wrong. My thinking was Vrabel, great coach, with 2 weeks of just hearing how you're not going to win. You might get blown out, which you did. You can't win. You're not going to win. Your roster sucks. You suck. And 2 weeks of that, I thought Vrabel would really use that to his advantage. And, the Patriots, first 2.5, 3 quarters, their defense was great. It's just when you're going 3 and out, punt, turnover, it's kind of hard to keep the defensive tenacity and the intensity and the energy when you're just out on the field every 2 minutes. And, this is my 3rd season, and I diagram every game and every single play I look at. And for 3 seasons, the winning team's run passes 50-50 run. Like at the most on a week was 47 run, 53% pass for all 16 or 15 winning teams, however many that week. And for the losing teams, all 16 or 15, depending on buys, 14, whatever, every single week, it's 60% pass, 40% rush. Up to 67% pass, 33% rush. 68% of games, if you're sacked less, you win. And 85% of games, if you have the same or less turnovers, you win. And that's how it is. I'm actually writing a manifesto. I'm going to get it. It's almost done. Might finish it today even. And I'm going to send it out. I'm going to get hardcover, like pamphlet size, and I'm going to send it to all 32 teams and any college teams that I like that might be struggling. I'm not trying to tell you how you do your job, but if you take 10 minutes and read this book, it's about get on the ball and say set hut. It's about don't turn the ball over and win the penalties. Penalties, not situational penalties, is what kills you. But this game came down to exactly what I've been talking about and what every game has come down to in the last 3 years. Seattle run to pass 32-38. Is 46%. So Seattle ran the ball 32 times, threw the ball 38 times. That's 46 run, 54% pass, which is high on the pass scale on winning teams for the season. But look at New England. 18 rushes and 43 passes. And by the way, after the game, you don't hear anything about this. Oh, I actually got a shot in my shoulder. I can't feel it. Why weren't you on the injury report? Somebody look into that. You know, that kind of is there for the gamblers and the bettors. 18 rushes, 5 of them by Drake May. So only 13 rushes between your running backs and 43 motherfucking passes with a guy that's inconsistent as shit. And you can tell early 70% pass, 30% run. Bro, I don't get it. And it's like they abandoned the run. They're only down 6-0 at half. And I was at a party. I'm sober, but I'm still watching the game. But there's shit going on. I'm going to rewatch the game, and I'm actually going to call the game at some point this week. But it didn't seem like they were terrible at running the ball. And it just seems like teams just abandon the run. And their offensive line, if your offensive line is struggling to pass protect, it seems like they might be better at blowing off the ball and get on the ball and just say set hut and let them be athletes. It's a lot easier to run block when you're blocking the guy in front of you instead of retreating and you have the fucking alligator arms, supposedly, of Will Campbell. That guy, 5th pick overall, and just got destroyed all year. So it's just, why are you throwing the ball 43 times and not even trying to run the ball? 13 rushes between, and I bitch about this all the time, 13 rushes between your two pretty studly running backs. Then we go to sacks. 67% of teams that win the sack battle. 6-1. New England gave up 6 sacks. Seattle gave up 1. Darnold early, there was a couple, close calls, couple close sacks. He threw a couple questionable balls. If one of those gets picked early, even a pick 6, it might be a whole different game. But Darnold, when you have the better roster and you believe so, sometimes it's just don't lose the game. And he did great. He had 5 touchdowns and no turnovers in 3 games in the playoffs. 230 yards a game passing. So Darnold had an amazing turnaround of a career. But I don't understand why New England's throwing the ball 70% of the time in a close game. And then turnovers. 85% of teams that win have the same amount or less turnovers. New England 3, Seattle nothing. They couldn't figure out the corner blitz. They were bringing blitzes from the defensive backfield. Couldn't figure that out. I put it 100% Vrabel and almost more on Josh McDaniels. What are you doing? The shit don't work, and let's just keep dropping 5-7 step drop and just holding the ball in the pocket. Not running at all. Was it because his shoulder sore? What about a couple screen passes and a bubble screen to a receiver, tight end, middle screen? Screen to your running backs. How about just a little curl route when the safety or the corner blitzes? Hot routes. None of that. Just trying to look downfield, holding the ball, 6 fucking sacks. How many pressures? 11 pressures and 20 hits or something. 11 hits and 20 pressures. 70 plays, 43 passes, and 20 of them had quarterback pressure. And you just didn't change the game plan at all. Not even halftime. Why'd you even have to wait till half and you didn't even do it then? You go to the sideline and you have your freaking iBook thing. Figure it out. It's your 10th motherfucking Super Bowl. Josh McDaniels as an offensive coordinator. And you're running the same shit. No rollouts, no move the pocket, no screens, no draws, nothing. Quit running the ball for some ungodly reason. You were running the ball fine, what I saw. I do want to say, I looked at the odds. Seattle plus 6,500, New England plus 6,000. So who had that? Who had Seattle, New England in the Super Bowl? It's like that LeBron commercial. The Music Series miracle. And I called it. What? Yeah, I told everybody he was about to score. You didn't tell nobody nothing. With Kevin Hart, that's a good one. Yeah, I called it. Seattle and New England in the Super Bowl. So what a crazy year, bro. And my rigged for Vegas argument took a little hit because Vegas and the gambling, they lost their ass on the championship games because all the money was on the favorites and they won and covered. I guess, yeah. And all the money was on the favorite here and they won and covered. So maybe they were getting the kind of like last year when everybody was on the Swifties shit. Maybe they said, you know what? Let's just go into next year. Take the loss. People are getting on to us. But unbelievable. Just 100% coaching. I put this game. I don't understand. And there was a guy, he's a New England fan, and every time I'd say, same old shit. It's the definition of insanity is do the same thing over and over and expect different results. Me and the guy were just laughing, going, what the fuck are we doing? Another 7-step drop and pressure and not leaving the pocket, feeling the pressure and stepping right into the pressure, stepping into sacks that he easily could have, there's room out the back. Ask Shedeur Sanders. There's room out the back of the pocket. You're an athlete. You're faster than most of these offensive linemen. Drake Maye, good athlete. Why aren't there more designed runs? Why is he just standing there and taking sacks? Just makes no sense. I don't know. So, and what about the injury report? There was can't remember who, but there was 2 other guys that said, oh yeah, I had a banged up this and that. There's nothing on the injury report. On Tuesday, Drake Maye said, I'm 100% feel great. And then after the game, nothing before the game. Oh, I got shot up with cortisone. I couldn't feel my shoulder at all. What do you mean you got shot up? You said you're 100% and everything's great. Does the league look into that? Is that finable offense? They do that for gamblers, basically. If I know you can't feel your shoulder, I might take Seattle and I might go the under. I mean, I thought you'd figure it out playing 4 great defenses in a row and struggling for 3 of the 4. You might figure out how to beat a great defense. With your offensive coordinator that's been in 10 Super Bowls. Apparently not. Yeah, I think it's into this a little more. Because you're telling me that your shoulder was fucked up enough to have a cortisone shot, but on Tuesday you're telling me you're 100% and feel great. That doesn't add up. Do you worry about Drake Maye's confidence going forward as well? I mean, he had a struggle bus of a playoffs. Does that make you wonder? Does some of that, seep into next season? I don't know. You're not going to have the easiest schedule in 27 years next year either. It's just a frustrating game to watch. At least I didn't hate either team. If this was the AFC Championship against the Chiefs and they were pulling this shit, I'd be furious. But I respect Darnold. I love what Darnold, just to turn your career around like that. It just shows you culture and coaching is everything. Everything. Where you go. That's why top quarterbacks don't really do well, because they're going to shit teams for the most part that can't get, like the Jets haven't made the playoffs in 15 years now. Haven't even made the playoffs in 15 years. 15 years and you can't even put together a team to make the playoffs. when 14 of 32 teams go to the playoff, maybe 12 back. At least 12 teams have gone to the playoffs every year in the last 15 years, and the Jets can't do it. It's just crazy. Coffin corner punt is back. Seattle, I think, had a couple. I don't know where that ever went, especially when you have a dangerous returner and you're punting from the 50. Instead of doing the try to chip shot and make it bounce, if coffin corner, you don't have to worry about the bounce. Just kick it out of bounds inside the 10 even. Yeah, total domination, idiotic coaching. I don't know why they just abandoned the running game. But it's about all I got on the Super Bowl, 50-50 run. Don't turn the ball over. Don't take sacks. You win a game. Doesn't matter if it's in the regular season, playoffs, or the Super Bowl. It'll all be in my manifesto. Anybody wants a copy. And once again, the spread does not have an effect. For you bettors and gamblers out there, in these three seasons, 23, 24, 25 that I've been doing this show, and I've been keeping extra track, only 15% of games does the spread even come into play. So either the underdog wins or the favorite covers 85% of the games. That's 13 out of 16 games. So only 3 games, 2 to 3 games a week, sometimes one, sometimes none. Plenty weeks where no games did the spread even come into play. So maybe look, spreads are that's there, I think, to fuck you up. Oh, it went up a point. Usually half a point doesn't matter. So for next year, what I would say, don't even look at the spreads. Pick the winners, and then if you see a couple spreads that are funky. And the only problem is you don't know which 3 of the 16 is the spread going to come into play. But for the most part, the spread doesn't even hardly matter. Whoa, we got a parakeet. Never see him up here. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up the Super Bowl there. So congratulations, Seattle. I'm going to look at my predictions, just 3 predictions. I do, preseason predictions before the season starts. I had 3. I did over-unders, playoff teams, and division winners. So over-unders did pretty good. I was 20. I got 20 over and unders correct and 12. So if you put $100, that'd be 2,000 to 1,200 minus the VIG. You lost 8 times 160. You'd be up $600. If you put $100 on all my over-unders. I was wrong on Buffalo. No, I was right on Buffalo. Oh, me under Buffalo. No, that's correct. Hold up. Did Buffalo have 12 wins? I'm looking at this wrong. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm right. So 20 and 12. Over under, not bad. Let's go to the playoffs. I had Atlanta, Detroit, and Washington in the playoffs. Didn't have Seattle. Didn't have Carolina. So I got 4 of 7 in each division. I had Green Bay, Philly, Rams, and San Fran. Missed on 3. Then I had Houston, Buffalo, Chargers, and Jacksonville. Missed on Denver. I had Baltimore, KC, and Cincy. And so that's 8 out of 14. 57%. Not great. When we go to the divisions, I only picked 1 out of 8 division winners, so that is not good. Philadelphia was the only division winner I got. It was kind of funky, though. I'm sure not everybody had New England. Not everybody had Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Denver. All that's weird. Chicago, Carolina, Seattle. So lots of surprises there. I'm going to wrap up the season, though. And I always say, man, football season just flies by. Gets to August, and August crawls by, and you're just waiting and watching crappy preseason, which sucks. Then you get to week 1, and you're all stoked. You got all your fantasy teams. You're gambling, and everything's going great. And then all of a sudden, it's week 9, and then it's the playoffs, and then the Super Bowl's over. Like that. And then it's sad, and you have a little sadness hangover. And then February and March, April, May, June, July seems like just takes forever as far as the football world. I mean, it flies by in real life, but as far as football goes, I'm almost sad when the season starts because I know how fast it just fucking flies by. So another one in the books. I'll be back next year. I got to round up more. People. I got my stickers. I was really hard. I've got the first 120 people in the first month, and I've gotten 30 in 2 years since. So, but love you guys. Have a nice off season. I might come on here and there, maybe some NBA or some breaking news. Maybe I'll do some combine stuff, or maybe I'll come on for the NFL draft. But other than that, it's been a pleasure. Love you guys. Have a nice year off season, and ahui ho. Aloha.